Hi everyone, this is Michael Bledstein. Before I begin, I just want to give a quick shout out to Emily Boone, who did a very nice shout out to me yesterday because it was my birthday yesterday. So please click her link below. So today I'm going to talk about movies I got autographed from comic filmmakers. I'm going to go mostly in alphabetical order of the title, except for one of the directors because I have two of his movies that I got an autograph from, and how the story is told. I can't tell that story in the context of alphabetical order of the titles for those because he signed them not in alphabetical order of title. But before I talk about that, there's a couple others I want to bring up. The first I'm going to bring up, I've already discussed this on my very first video, but I added a couple other autographs where I met the three directors, David Zucker, Jim Abrams, and Jerry Zucker. On the top over here is Robert Hayes. He plays the character Ted Stryker. And on the bottom over here is Jill Weldon. She plays the character Lisa, who is actually the little girl on the back of the box here. If you can see it over here, that's being sung to by the lady with the guitar right here. So this is her in the movie. I met both of those two. I met those two at the Hollywood convention, and that was back in, I think it was 2013. It's a place I've gone to before where it's for charity and stuff. You give money for autographs and photographs. So that's for the movie Airplane. Next, I want to talk about one of the legendary directors, Carl Reiner. I met him in 2011 at the New Beverly Cinema in August. Here's his autograph for the movie All of Me. I think this is Steve Martin's best movie and Carl Reiner's best movie. And I met him twice in 2011. I first met him in August. I was surprised how energetic he was, that he actually had a lot more energy when he did his Q&A than I expected, and also when he met me. And I met him again 4 months later, December of 2011, for a screening with him and Dick Van Dyke. And that was the only time I ever got to meet Dick Van Dyke. He signed my DVD of Mary Poppins, which you could watch. We talked about on my 1960s movies autographs video. Next, I want to bring up probably my favorite part of this entire director's autographs or filmmaker's autograph edition. I met Mel Brooks. I was the only one who got to meet him at the TCM Film Festival for a sold-out crowd for his movie 12 Chairs back in April of 2013. How I got to meet him is that I used to work at the Chinese Theater, and I've been wanting to meet him not as an employee, but as a customer at other events at the Egyptian and at the Chinese for other movies for a long time to get his autographs, and it just never happened. I didn't know how much longer he'd still be around, and fortunately he's still alive today. So I talked to one of the TCM securities, the security guards or employees there that runs the place, and told them, oh, I've been really trying to meet Mel Brooks for a long time, and I have his movies I wanted to autograph, and I used to work at the Chinese Theater, and you could ask anyone here. I honestly did used to work here, and I would really love to meet him before his Q&A and before the movie 12 Chairs. And since I used to work there and I told her nicely and stuff, she said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll let you meet him. You'll be the only one in the whole theater that gets to meet him before the Q&A and before the movie starts. So I was in the top of at the auditorium in the upper seats. Employee came up to me from TCM saying, excuse me sir, can we see you downstairs please? So I took my bag that had DVDs in it. It contained the DVDs of Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein. She whispered to me when I was walking down the stairs, you only have a couple minutes because this Q&A is happening very quickly, or something like that. So I was very excited and a little nervous at the same time. I finally got to meet him, and he was wearing a World War Z hat because his son, Max Brooks, is the author of the novel World War Z. So he turns around and he shakes my hand very excitedly saying, hi, how are you? And I was a little intimidated, but I said to him, hi, yes, is it okay if you please sign my DVD of Young Frankenstein? He said, sure, sure. So I took my gold Sharpie out And as he was signing, I was telling him, oh, I really love this movie. This is such a great film. I'm so happy that I get to meet you and all this stuff. And he even said to me, why don't we use the gold pen for me to sign this? Because I brought a gold Sharpie and a black Sharpie. And I'm so excited. I also said to him, I also met Cloris Leachman. I would also like to show you my photograph of me and Cloris Leachman. How I met Cloris Leachman, who, by the way, is the second person I got an autograph from in my entire life. I met her at the Barnes & Noble Grove. There I am in the green jacket, and she's signing my DVD cover right there, sitting down at the table. And I just said to her, could you please sign in on the word Frankenstein? And she did. She didn't really say very much to me. And I was taking out my Blazing Saddles DVD as he was signing, and the security person there says, I'm sorry, sir, you can only get one movie signed. And Mel Brooks said, oh, it's okay, I'll sign the other one. And I was so excited, I was like, really? And he said, sure, it's just a couple autographs. It just takes a few seconds. Why don't we use your black Sharpie? So I took out my Blazing Saddles DVD and the black Sharpie, and he signed it right here, which was perfect. And I was so excited. And I also told him that I met Carl Reiner, because I know he's good friends with Carl Reiner. And I told him the story about that I just told you. And afterwards, and after I put the covers back in the slip cases, he shook my hand and said, what's your name? And I said, Michael Bledstein. He says, Michael, it was wonderful to meet you. And then the employees said, okay, sir, you have to go back to your seat now. And so I went back to my seat, and that was that. And that was such a cool story, especially since I was the only one that got to meet Mel Brooks in the entire sold-out show of 12 chairs. That was so cool. And last but not least, I would like to bring up someone else that is associated with Carl Reiner. I would like to bring up his son, Rob Reiner. This movie that I'm going to show you has already been featured at one of my other videos before, my second video. But this time I got an additional autograph, which was Rob Reiner's, and that's for the movie When Harry Met Sally. I already talked about Billy Crystal up top. Rob Reiner I met at a Pasadena ArcLight Hollywood theater. It was for an advanced free screening of his movie And So It Goes, I believe is what it was called. It was with Diane Keaton. I didn't think it was very good. I thought it was mostly boring. And when I was leaving the auditorium, I thought he didn't show up because I didn't see him in the auditorium. But then I overheard people saying, oh, Rob, I'm so happy about your new movie. I really like your movie. And I saw a small crowd, and I was like, oh, is that Rob Reiner in that crowd? So I went over there, and it was Rob Reiner. And he signed it, and that was very, very cool of him. And I told him that I met his father. I was very happy to meet you, and I really liked this movie. It was very nice and calm and laid back. That was in August of 2013. Yeah, that's the end of this collection of movies I got autographed that involve famous comic filmmakers. Thank you for listening. And once again, thank you, Emily Boone, for yesterday. And I would like to see your comments down below. Thank you. Bye.